GM did not kill the 6.2 V8 with a press release. They killed it with a crankshaft. Right now, across America, late-model General Motors trucks and SUVs, $80,000 Silverados, Yukons, Escalades, are seizing without warning. On the highway. At 30,000 miles. Sometimes with the family in the car. The most powerful engine in GM's most profitable vehicles is failing, and the fix GM ordered does not appear to be working. This is the story of how the 6.2-litre V8 became one of the worst engine reliability crises in modern General Motors history, and what is quietly taking its place. Now, one thing has to be said clearly, up front, because this channel does not deal in clickbait. GM has not formally discontinued the 6.2. You can still order one today. But in every way that matters to the person writing the check, the 6.2 as it was sold is dying, and the engines stepping in to replace it tell you exactly where GM is really going. Start with what the engine is. GM calls it the L87, a 6.2-litre, naturally aspirated small block V8, making about 420 horsepower. It is the top engine option in the full-size lineup, the Chevrolet Silverado, Tahoe and Suburban, the GMC Sierra and Yukon, the Cadillac Escalade. It is the one you pay extra for. The premium choice. The big V8 in the expensive truck. And that is exactly the engine that is failing. And there is an irony in that, for anyone who knows the engine. The L87 is the most advanced small block V8 GM has ever built. It runs dynamic fuel management cylinder deactivation that can shut down individual cylinders to save fuel, the great-grandchild of the very idea Cadillac fumbled with the V8 6440 years ago, now finally working smoothly. GM made that technology work. What it could not do was make the crankshaft underneath it survive. The failure traces to two manufacturing defects, both from a supplier, neither one visible to the owner. The first is contamination in the rod bearings debris left behind from machining, sitting in the connecting rods and the crankshaft's oil passages. The second is crankshafts built out of specification, the wrong dimensions, the wrong surface finish. Either one does the same thing. It starves the bearings of clean oil, and the bottom end of the engine destroys itself. The frightening part is how it fails. Not a warning light weeks in advance. Not a slow decline. The engine seizes suddenly, sometimes at highway speed, and when a seized engine locks the driven wheels, the truck can lose power and steering at the same moment. Owners have described it in almost identical words, driving 65, 70 miles an hour, and the truck simply shuts off, in traffic, with no warning. These are not rare voices on a forum. A fleet owner describes 3 Escalades sitting at the dealership at once, waiting on engines and living in fear of the next phone call. An owner whose high country seized on a mountain highway, lost power and steering mid-curve, and coasted to a stop in the middle of the road as the traffic behind her locked up its brakes. Another waited 71 days for a truck he had paid $80,000 for. The thread is always the same. No warning. No fault of the owner, and a long wait for a fix that may not hold. In April of 2025, GM issued the recall. Federal Campaign Number 25V274. Roughly 600,000 trucks and SUVs, model years 2021 through 2024. The remedy came in 2 parts. If the dealer's inspection found damage, the engine was replaced though, as owners later learned, not always with a brand new engine. Some got remanufactured ones. If the engine passed inspection, the fix was different. GM told owners to change their oil from 0W20 to a thicker 0W40, add a new oil cap, and a note in the manual. That was the fix for hundreds of thousands of them. Thicker oil. For a defective crankshaft. And then the engines kept failing. Not the old ones. The fixed ones. By January of 2026, the federal safety regulator had seen enough to open a second investigation, this one aimed directly at whether GM's recall remedy actually works. It was triggered by 36 separate complaints from owners whose engines failed catastrophically after the dealer had already performed the fix. And it got wider from there. A second federal analysis pulled in around 286,000 more vehicles going back to 2019, outside the original recall entirely, after more than 1,100 reports of bearing failures. Class action lawsuits followed, and owners, along with some dealership technicians, began reporting that even brand new 2025 and 2026 trucks were seizing at a few thousand miles the same failure on the engines that were supposed to be cured. GM ordered a recall. Then the government opened an investigation into the recall. Put the numbers together and the scale comes into focus. The original recall and the investigation that followed now reach close to 900,000 vehicles. The diagnostic code at the center of it, P0016, flags the crankshaft and camshaft slipping out of alignment, the first sign that the bottom end is coming apart. And the replacement engines have not all been a clean escape. Owners report receiving remanufactured engines, not new ones, in $80,000 and $90,000 trucks. And in some cases, the replacement failed too. One owner's Cadillac got a new engine, then a second engine, 1,500 miles later. There are honest qualifications, and they matter. GM says engines built after June 1, 2024 are not affected by the defect. Every recalled vehicle gets extended warranty coverage 10 years or 150,000 miles. But the fix carried its own cost. The thicker oil the recall prescribes is more expensive, and it slightly lowers fuel economy, so one lawsuit put the owner's choice bluntly: do nothing and risk catastrophic failure, or accept the recall and pay more at the pump for a fix that may not even work. And despite all of it, the trucks have kept selling. Brand loyalty did not break overnight. But something quieter is breaking. A truck buyer pays for a V8 because he trusts it to outlast the payments. Once that trust is gone, once big V8 starts to mean might strand me on the interstate, the math that sold the 6.2 stops working. It is the same wound that took down Cadillac 40 years ago. Not a sales collapse, a slow loss of the one thing the badge was supposed to guarantee. And GM is not suffering this alone, which makes its response look worse, not better. Toyota hit a similar crisis with the twin-turbo V6 in its Tundra, and Lexus models are bearing defect, the same family of problem. Toyota's answer was to replace the engines. GM's answer, for most owners, was a different grade of oil. Buyers noticed the difference. Underneath all of it is a harder question GM has not really answered: how a defect this basic dirty bearings, out-of-spec cranks got past the quality controls of an entire company and onto its flagship engine in its most profitable trucks. It traces back to a supplier and to the cost pressure of a company spending its attention and its money elsewhere. But the badge on the hood is GM's. And so is the failure. Which brings us to what is replacing it. And the answer has two halves. The first half is happening in driveways right now, whether GM likes it or not. Buyers are walking away from the 6.2 and reaching for GM's smaller engines. The 2.7-litre Turbomax, a turbocharged four-cylinder that makes around 430 pound-feet of torque, nearly as much as the V8, with better fuel economy. And none of the L87's broken architecture. And the 3.0-litre Duramax, an inline-six diesel that makes more torque than the 6.2 V8 does. The most powerful, most expensive V8 in the lineup is being replaced by a four-cylinder and a diesel 6. Think about what that means for the company. The V8 is not just an engine to a truck buyer. For many of them, it is the reason they buy the truck. GM spent decades making the small block V8 the default, the safe choice, the thing you did not have to think about. The L87 made people think about it. The second half is GM's own plan. A new generation of the small block V8 is on the way, and a redesigned truck to carry it. GM is trying to turn the page to put the L87 behind it before the damage to the V8's name becomes permanent. So did GM kill the 6.2 V8? Not with a memo. Not on paper. You can still buy one tonight, but a supplier's defective crankshaft killed the thing that actually mattered, the belief that the big GM V8 was the bulletproof choice. And a recall, the government no longer trusts finished the job. The engine is still on the order sheet. The trust is not. And what replaces the 6.2 will not just be another engine under the hood. It will be the moment GM's own buyers decided the big V8 was not worth the risk and started checking the box for the 4-cylinder instead.